So, Hunt Showdown is dying. Let's talk about it. Okay, clickbait's over. What's actually happening? Well, yeah. Today's really important. I just want to talk to you face to face. No Harden today, no personas, just me talking to my fellow hunters at the lodge. Let's have a heart to heart. So, Crytek, the developers of popular games such as the Crysis series, developers of the CryEngine, and most importantly for this channel, Hunt Showdown, have announced that as of this week, they are going to be laying off 15% of their employees. Roughly, due to my math, around 60 people. We don't know what teams they're a part of, necessarily. We don't have a lot of the intricate details. But we do know that, unfortunately, development on Crysis 4 is being paused, and the developers that they're keeping from that team are going to be moved to Hunt Showdown, or to be moved on to the CryEngine team. Apparently, Crytek is financially unsustainable, and without significant changes, they would completely fold. So where does this leave us now in 2025? What even happened? Well, let's do some quick digging and talk about it. Let's start with the reaches we've had as of recent. With the benefit of hindsight, I believe that Post Malone's Murder Circus, as well as the Ghostface IP crossover, and even to an extent the 1896 relaunch of the game, were all Hail Mary passes for future revenue and hope that it would essentially catch everything falling in this net, that we could magically whisk in enough new players and enough income to not have to change anything but just stay the same and keep the road going. But as Crytek put in their announcement, their current business model is financially unsustainable, and they need to restructure to avoid a catastrophe. The way I see it is Crytek made very unique and original games that weren't exactly the most mainstream. Crysis did hit the mainstream. It was an extremely popular game, but it's been quite a while since Crysis 3 came out, and I don't think it has the same cultural significance that it did back then. And Hunt has always been cult. It's always been a cult following type of game. It's never been the absolute mainstream, regardless of what they tried to do in recent months. So these primarily single-player or one-time purchase games did not generate a significant income going forward, and there was not a lot of developers paying to use the CryEngine to produce income going forward, like Epic Games sees from Unreal being used by many, many developers. So with this income stagnating over time, unfortunately, they had to introduce many different aspects to Hunt Showdown, as it was literally their only active product making them money. And considering that many hunters paid the initial price tag to play the game, and then never spent money again, often buying the game on sale for $20, it's easy to see how those 20,000 regulars you have all the time aren't exactly producing more income. And if you remember back in the day, for years, you can actually earn premium currency blood bonds in-game completely for free by just playing the game, which is insane to think. And they had to get rid of that because, like where we are now. So the model for Hunt in the past wasn't exactly profitable. And it has bled into today, the present, where we are still having these issues. And so because Hunt was a cult following type of game, those regular hunters were not spending money because they've already been here for so long, they have everything they want. You end up in a situation where unless you can get new blood into the game to try it, love it, and spend some money, you're not really making a lot of money, but you're only spending it on new development, spending it on new advertisements, spending it on marketing, spending it on server stability, upgrading the servers, and it's a lot that you're spending that money on. But let's go back a little ways. So they hired David Fifield onto the team to head Hunt Showdown as the main developer, to issue it into a new era. They hired a lot of new talent on the team. They expanded the numbers. Quite a bit, actually. Cultural impact on a Call of Duty level is probably what was projected by members of the board in boardrooms. And with this new push to get Hunt Showdown into the mainstream like Call of Duty, came the absolute culmination of a few things. The launch of 1896, Post Malone's Murder Circus, and to a lesser extent, Ghostface. The launch of 1896 was a new build for the CryEngine. It was supposed to drastically reduce the amount of hackers in the game, greatly increase the speed at which updates could get rolled out. It would shoot the capabilities of the engine right up into the ceiling. The performance, the visuals, the audio, everything was going to be an improvement with 1896. But if any of you were there for the launch of 1896, it was a fucking mess. The engine update was massive, but I believe it was pushed out way too early in development, and this led to the myriad of issues we faced in the last few months. Performance issues and server instability being the two main offenders. Hell, they still haven't ironed out a lot of these issues to this day. And every update we have now has a non-0% chance to completely tear the foundation of the game apart and break it again. Even removing the event in this last patch fucked up the game again for a lot of people. Can you believe that? Removing content from the game made it worse than when the content was in the game? Less code was worse? So why? Why push out an engine update that isn't ready, in a build that isn't complete, and completely relaunch your game with full cinematics, spending all that money on the marketing when it's not ready? Well, I'll tell you why. Or at least what I think. Well, let's say there's a board of directors in your company that's pushing you towards specific deadlines. I don't know what deadlines, right? Well, as it turns out, there's this guy, this incredibly popular artist, one of the most popular artists in the world. His name is Post Malone, and he plays your game, and you've connected with his general manager, and you've worked out this deal to do a collaboration with him in your game. It's going to be huge. It's going to get the game out to a ton of different people that don't know anything about Hunt, because they'll see Post Malone's involved. They know his music. They like his music. They'll try the game, right? This is how we're going to get that Call of Duty level income, right? And so you're months in, you've got Post Malone's Murder Circus well into development, and you need to have something to present because your board approved for the marketing team to pay millions of dollars for an ad slot in the Game Awards, among other several commercials, just to get 1896 as big as possible. And the Game Awards are coming up quick, so you've got to shove out 1896, get your first event underway, remove all the fucking lore from the game, because we can't have that. That's in our way. That's going to waste too much development time. Rip out all the lore and half of the features in the game, put out the UI that's not done yet, put out the engine that's not done yet, get everything in the game, and get the first event going so that we can get ready for the Murder Circus and have that ready for the Game Awards, because we already spent $2 million on that ad slot. We can't waste that opportunity. We've already got our animators working on these fully animated lore cinematics to try and get people hyped up. We've dropped millions of dollars into the pits for the development of the new CryEngine update, for the development of 1896, for the Ghostface crossover, and for the Post Malone's Murder Circus, said to be the grandest, the greatest, the biggest event Hunt Showdown's ever seen, with the biggest update ever. Well, so how'd the numbers do? It's the biggest event Hunt has ever had, right? We paid for a shit ton of ads. Shouldn't it be doing great? Well, it didn't work. Comparing the highs of the Murder Circus to the highs of previous events is depressing, especially considering this is post-1896, which was supposed to revamp the entire game and bring a bunch of new blood in and keep them playing with all the new improvements, the new map, everything. And unfortunately, 1896, and especially Post Malone's Murder Circus, did not bring in all the new blood that Crytek was hoping for. The Hail Mary pass didn't connect, and that net to catch all the falling pieces didn't catch a fucking thing. So the safety net tore. It didn't work. And this is the culmination. millions of dollars burnt up for an unsuccessful venture, and now your developers who have been with you for years are paying the price. Can you imagine working at a company for years? You have invested years of your life into a company. You love it there. You have family and friends, essentially, that work there with you, that everybody knows each other by name. And you've worked on these incredibly unique and amazing projects. You have put building blocks into digital worlds that will never go away. And you're rewarded for your creativity and excellence by getting laid off because somebody above you made a bad decision. It's important to remember that at the heart of this is actual lives being ruined because of this. There's no jokes to be made, no bright sun to be shown onto this shadow that we're all standing in right now. This is really sad and depressing. I extend my heartfelt apologies and prayers, especially prayers, for all the people affected by these layoffs. I hope you'll all do the same. Sorry, folks, this just got me really bummed out, and unfortunately, I don't really do the face cams often in these videos anymore, so it's really hard for me to, to talk, but especially because I worked all day. I'm very tired. If you couldn't tell from the eyes. Was it inevitable? Could this have been avoided? Well, who knows, right? I dare to say that it's possible the number of workers in Crytek was bloated. The game development space across all game development is iconic for layoffs in the last 4 years. AAA companies with a gorgillion dollars in their bank accounts are just crumbling and laying off the little man with little to no fanfare. And I feel as though it may have just been time for Crytek to pay the butcher's bill. The layoffs are depressing, but I'm relieved to hear there is a positive light, albeit small. According to Crytek, the individuals affected by these layoffs will be offered severance packages and job assistance. Now, bear in mind, severance package is a big word, right? And it can ultimately mean, hey, here's $100, severance package. But it could also mean enough money to get through some months while you figure out what you're going to do. We don't know. But I choose to believe that at the very base of human nature, good intent is always there. So I refuse to believe, unless I'm shown otherwise, that the severance packages aren't sufficient. But nothing could be sufficient for losing your job in the heart of your life. So yeah. So, while this is a huge omen for the future of Hunt Showdown and Crisis 4 and anything involving Crytek, it's important to know that there are positive aspects to this as well, and I'm not going to act like there isn't. We've seen it before where game studios have restructured, reorganized all of their assets and their development funds and pushed out better games. It's possible because there's bloat. We've had the .com bubble in the past, right? It's so easy for something to go super well, and then you just build up these massive teams immediately with the success, and then the success wanes and wanes and wanes, and now you've got all these people on your team, and you can't support them anymore. So maybe if they cut off the excess fat, they'll be able to refocus everything in a more efficient way. The development of Crisis 4 is on hold. So, provided that your best talent gets actually moved on Showdown, it's possible this could lead to the game becoming a lot better. But Crytek, you need to put in the fucking work, dude. I'm telling you. You need to rebuild the foundation of your game. You ruined your game. And I understand this isn't the developers on the bottom. This isn't the working man who just gets told what to do, where to code, what to draw, and they do it with their heart to the best of their ability and their talents, but they're still doing what they have to for their job. This is for the people at the top making decisions. You have the potential to rebuild the foundation of a game you destroyed and honor the community that has stuck with you for multiple years. I love Hunt Showdown, and you have been ruining Hunt Showdown for me. And for everyone. You have been ruining one of my favorite games. And I'm stuck watching it decay. I'm tired of the game never fucking working. I'm tired of every update being a 50-50 on whether or not I'll even be able to play the game because it's broken again. You removed the lore. I love the lore of Hunt Showdown, and you removed it from the game. You didn't even have it accessible officially on any avenue. It was only available from fan-dedicated websites until everybody bitched enough that you put it on the official website. And you don't intend to put it back in the game? Are you fucking kidding me? You build this massive world with all these stories to be told, all these amazing, unique characters with so many different histories across the world. You've got one of the most multicultural games ever made, and you just kill it. And add fucking Ghostface. And I supported the Ghostface skin at first, okay? But now that I see where all the development funding has been allocated, fuck you, dude. Crytek. Rebuild the foundations of Hunt. Add new features. Quality of life especially. Fix the fucking game. Hire some writers. Take some of that money you spent on the fucking ads and the game awards that nobody cared about and hire some writers, write some books and sell them for profit. We see other games do this. Even fucking Sea of Thieves, a game that nobody thought had a story, has a book. And it sold well. You have multiple stories sitting there waiting to be told. Write some fucking books and sell them. I've got over 100 people in my Discord who would probably buy one. And I have multiple people who I know would buy them. They've told me that. There are so many avenues for profit and growth for the game that you're not even exploring because you're chasing industry trends that don't work out for a game like this. And I support the idea of experimentation, but it's not worth the lives and jobs of the people below you at the top. It's really not. The risk wasn't worth it. And you failed. You failed miserably, and you wasted a lot of people's money, their time, and their lives. So now it's the chance to make things right. Approach every person from top to bottom, including the people at the top especially. Look to everybody, what they do, what their job is, what their qualifications are, what their skills and talents are. Reorganize and restructure the teams and allocate your resources efficiently, putting the people on the right teams where they're meant to be, and fix Hunt Showdown. You have the means, you have the potential, and you can do what's right for not only the people that you're laying off, but for all future employees and current employees you have. And for us, the hunters who have stuck with you through thick and thin for years, loving your game that you have slowly ruined. I love Hunt Showdown. It's genuinely one of my favorite games I've ever played. There are worlds I've played in that are nothing compared to the world of Hunt. I've met some of the best people through the community. I've made amazing friends. I've built in my Discord a wonderful community of people. We've got artists in there, storytellers in there. We've got a lot of veteran hunters with thousands of hours who are so eager and willing to teach new players, something that you won't do. And for the record, Post Malone being in the game is not going to get new players in when they join the game and just get their shit rocked for multiple games because your tutorial sucks. And you don't have a new player integration system. You don't have anything. It is so barren. You have a tutorial that doesn't even teach you half the mechanics of the game. I got a lot I could say on this. But I really just... There's too much to say. I mean, fuck the script, dude. Fuck the script. Okay, fuck the script. Okay, fuck the script. Hunt Showdown is not dead. Crisis 4 apparently is right now, but Hunt Showdown is not dead. And there is infinite potential for the game and for the world that you've built. But it's up to you to make it work. And it shouldn't be at the cost of the little man anymore. You're going to be laying off 15% of your employees. I highly doubt they're going to be people at the top who make the most money and the most decisions. I guarantee it's going to be everybody at the bottom. I'm trying not to be heated about this. It really breaks your heart. I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm sad, I'm heartbroken, and I don't even know what to say half the time. Ultimately, this is do or die for Hunt Showdown. And Crytek at large. Now that the experiment has failed and the tithe has been paid, you need to trim the fat, allocate your resources efficiently, get the right talent where they need to be with the right tools, and you need to care again. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry that I ended up rambling quite a bit. Thank you, members of the Lodge, Patreon folks, everybody.